Good morning, everybody. This is Becky here at Aunt Beck's Creations. And this is our Monday morning kind of just chit chat and whatever I can find to talk about, I'll talk about. I told you all in my thrift haul video, I had this little kit. I got for $1.99. It's Loops and Thread, which is Michael's brand. It was a little learn to knit kit, and it was clearance for $1.99. So I went through the very beginning and practiced both knit and purl stitch. And then I got to the projects in it. And the first project is a headband, which is right here. And I have started that. And it's done just in the knit stitch. And knit stitch is easy for me. Purl, it's like it doesn't want to compute, does not compute. And of course, Tippy wants out. Sorry about that. But we know with Life with Cats, as soon as you go live, that's when they'll want in or out. And everybody says, why don't you put a pet door in? Well, I live in South Carolina, and we have these things called roaches and palmetto bugs, and they would come in through the pet door, and I just can't do that. So I'll open and close the door for the cats. But the instructions in this little kit was pretty easy. And like I said, this is all done in knit stitch. I think I need to get this to 21 inches long, and I'm currently at about 16 inches. But it's a really, really cute little headband there. And let's see what the next project is. It's a cowl is the next project. And that looks like it uses both knit and purl. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. And I'm just using yarn that I got at the thrift store just for practicing. So I'm going to sit here and knit a few more rows, and maybe somebody will pop in. If not, I don't really have a lot more to talk about. I do have something I want to share, but I'm going to wait till somebody gets in here. But yeah. And these are very cheesy kind of knitting needles. The color's wearing off the tips already on like just this one project. So. And Scott's left for work, and Greg's getting ready to go. And let's see, what else? What did we do? Scott got some wiring done out in the garage while I was taking a nap yesterday. I got up yesterday and I snapped the green beans and blanched them and put them in the freezer. So I got two quart bags. No. 2 quarts of beans. So 2 1-quart bags. Yeah. And then I also breaded up. I prepared the okra and breaded it up. And then I froze that in 2 1-quart bags. So I got 4 quarts of vegetables added to the freezer. And then we had part of the cantaloupe for breakfast, which we finished it off this morning for our breakfast. So the cantaloupe's gone now. So let's see. I need to do something with the zucchinis that I bought today. I got I don't know what the type of zucchini is, but it's the light green that has the like dark green stripes. But I had thought about making zucchini bread, but then I can't do that because last night when we were at Scott's mom's, he said Krispy Kreme has their pumpkin spice donuts. And I live for the pumpkin spice donuts. Pumpkin spice, everything else is absolutely disgusting to me. I don't need anything else pumpkin spiced. Not my coffee, not my ice cream, none of that. But pumpkin spice donut, I can live with that. So he came straight home instead of taking me to Krispy Kreme. So I said, well, let me go online and see if there's a recipe that I could find that's pretty close. And I found one. And the only thing is I don't have the little, for baked donuts, you know, you have the little, it's like a muffin tin, but it's got the shape of donuts in it. I don't have one of those. Hi, Heather. You're the first one here. So what I did is I used my muffin tins. So my donuts are just like little puffy pumpkin spice donut muffins. And then I made a brown sugar frosting to put on those. And one of them was so sweet, I stopped at that. But Scott must have had a sweet tooth because I think he ate 3 of them last night. I had one with part of my breakfast this morning, but couldn't eat it all. It was just too much. But so I have a bunch of those. So there's no point in making the zucchini bread. I might do some in the oven for supper tonight. Just cut it into like, I cut the zucchini in half and then cut it into like wedges. And then I put olive oil and Italian seasoning on it and then put it in the oven for like 20 minutes at 350. That is so tasty that way. I love it. I don't know if Scott does or not. He's never complained about it, but he's never said, "Ooh, that's good," either. So, and I know I'm holding the yarn wrong. I can't do the whole weave in and out my fingers business, so I just wrap it around my pinky and go. And that's what I tell everybody. You know, you can look at these patterns, and there are some people that are so stern about it. You have to do the, like, I don't know, like this. I can't do that. I just find what works for me, and then I go with that. Good morning, Kim. Yeah, look at me knitting. And I'm making a headband. Let's see, what are we at now? I got to get it to about 21 inches. Oh, I'm half an inch past where I was before. Knitting is so slow. But this is just the knit stitch. And I don't know if I'll ever tackle the purl, but if I do these projects in this book, maybe well, it's a booklet. I don't know how many, there's 4 projects in it. It's a headband, a scarf, fingerless gloves, and a cowl. The fingerless gloves look cute too. I might try those. And I'm just using thrifted yarn. Might as well, because the book was thrifted. And yeah. We had a good visit with Scott's mom yesterday. Although, you know, we go late in the day on Sunday because that's when she's used to us coming. If we try to change the time, it upsets her. But because it's in the afternoon, you know, you deal with sundowning, which is a real thing. Anything afternoon, you don't know what you're gonna get. So you have to kind of just let her tell you the same story, 12 times. And she forgets what she said. And she's just glad to have us sitting there. Yes, sundowning is rough. It is. I really, every week I tell y'all, I said, I'm, really concerned about her being there by herself, but yeah, it's hard, but she seems to be doing okay. She's having more and more trouble getting around, but thankfully she's decided that her cane is very useful and she's using it more, which is good. And I think it's not going to be long. And she really needs to be moved in. Her bedroom needs to be moved down into the bedroom that's on the very bottom floor. She lives in a tri-level, you guys, and she's going to be 97 in October. And I think she needs to just have everything down. And everybody says, well, she could just move down to the bed that's in there. And I said, that bed sits up way too high. She would never be able to get into that at all. And so, yeah, that's not going to work. And I almost feel like she would benefit from a hospital bed where she could, make it move up and down. But she sleeps most of the night in her chair, in her little, She's got one of the bedrooms upstairs that she calls her little den. And she sits in there and she just watches TV and then she falls asleep. So she sleeps in that chair, which is really not good for her circulation because she's not in a kickback recliner. Her legs are down. So she's not getting enough circulation. I don't know. I guess because I grew up with my grandmother and I learned all about all of what's going on, and I had to deal with it as a teenager because it was just me and grandma. So I would be at school hoping she didn't fall, and it's hard when nobody around you at school knows what you're going through at home, and the family was private, didn't want me to say anything about this or that, and it's just, yeah. You held one needle between your knees. Let's see. Hi, Susan. Good morning. Um, yeah, yeah. Well, I've kind of, yeah. My family's another whole story. Oh, Susan, I'm probably making you cringe because I'm not holding the yarn right, but at least I'm putting stitches together, and that's a plus because I'm a crocheter. I can crochet up a storm, but knitting, it's just it feels so alien. I'm just doing the knit stitch. When it comes to trying to switch between knit and purl, I struggle and it looks awful. But what is sundowning? Sundowning happens to older people when you have the beginnings of dementia or just a decline in mental ability. And what happens is in the morning, an older person wakes up, they're super clear and they can do anything. They can remember what they've told you. They can carry on full conversations. But then as the day progresses, their mental ability decreases and they'll tell you the same story 12 to 14 times. They'll ask you the same thing 12 to 14 times. And all you can do is let them do it or try to redirect them. Never tell them, you've already said that, or don't you remember? There are things that the only thing that will do, because they don't know, you're just upsetting them when you do that. So you just let them say it, or you say, well, let's talk about this, and try to redirect them, and never say, don't you remember? Because they don't. But it's something that happens as we get older, and as the day gets long, as they used to say, as the day gets long, they can't remember what they just told you. So that's what it is. Yeah. And Kim, that's what I tell everybody. You've got to find a way to hold the yarn that works for you. And if you get someone trying to teach you that says this is the right way, find somebody else, because everybody has their own way that works for their muscle memory. And I found that this works for me. I wrap it around my pinky. And I think my tension's pretty good. It looks about the same width all the way down. So yeah, that's what sundowning is. Heather, that's the whole reason I wanted to learn, because Vicki Brown at Messy Table Studios, she's got me wanting to make socks. I even bought sock yarn and sock knitting needles. And I almost feel like we need to have like a messenger chat of just people that want to do socks, and maybe meet like for an hour one afternoon or evening or something, and work on socks together. And if Vicky could join us, that would be great because she could give us tips. Because her socks are beautiful. She made me a pair and sent them to me. I need to make her some things and send them to her in thanks.
I shot myself in the foot.
Uh-oh, what's wrong?
I forgot that I washed my jeans.
Well, honey, you have another pair of jeans that were in the clothes basket. And I saw that you hadn't, sorry guys, hang on, I gotta talk with my son. I saw that you hadn't gotten them over into the dryer, so I put them over when you first got up, but
These are a little bit too thick for work.
oh. You could always wear a pair of your dad's jeans.
I found some.
Okay. Your dad's got all those brand new jeans that are now falling off his butt.
Sorry, ladies.
That's my son. He just had his birthday.
I'm old.
He's 38. He's not old.
I'm pretty spry for an old man. All right.
All right. I hope you have a good day. I was going to ask you, sorry guys. I was going to ask you about those 2 steaks in there that you cooked like a couple weeks ago. Can I throw those out?
Yes.
Okay.
I would highly recommend that.
Hi, Dawn. I'm no good at knitting. Loads of holes and drop stitches. Yeah, Karen, oh man, I so hear you. I so can crochet. All right, Heather, we'll work out a time. I know that I'm already involved in full day chats on Thursdays and Fridays because Ann has an all day craft and chat on Thursdays. That's Ann Lar. And then on Fridays, Renee Suzanne has taken over the Friday chats. So we would have to do it on another day. We'll have to find out when most people could have an hour to spare. Because I'm thinking just an hour session, because that's probably all my arms would do, trying to knit on something as fine as sock yarn. That stuff is tiny. I am making a headband out of just the knit stitch. I'm trying to learn to knit. I still want to just throw it aside and grab my crochet hook, but I'm trying to be good. Oh gosh. Yeah. But I got this little learn to knit kit right here. It came with this and the 2 knitting needles for $1.99 at the Goodwill. And I said, oh, well, I'll give it another try. So it doesn't look too bad. I've got some where I did at the ends. You see how smooth that side? This side has got some places that I can see. I must have drawn the loop too loose, and so it's not smooth, but I'm at 17 inches. I think I have to get to 21. Let me look at this again. It says, knit every row until your piece measures 1 inch less than desired head measurement, ending your last row at the same edge of the piece as your beginning tail. Then bind off all your stitches, leaving a 24-inch length for sewing. Thread yarn needle with long end, being careful not to twist pieces, so cast on and bound off edges together. Do not cut yarn length. Using the photo as a guide, firmly wind yarn length around several times to form a decorative knot. Oh. And when I first looked at this, I thought you would knit another piece to put right there, but that's just been wound around. How easy is that? So that covers up where you did your join, and then your headband's finished. How easy is that? And that was designed by Linda A. Daly. I'll give her credit. Linda A. Daly's headband. And then I think it goes into, yeah, this cowl is the next project. And that uses both knit and purl stitches. I don't think I'd use a cowl, so I might not make that. I probably shouldn't jump to the mittens. What's the next project in here? I think they have these projects in here by prowess, I guess is what I'm trying to say, by the difficulty of it. But those mittens look pretty. They're fingerless mittens. And I might try those. I think I've got plenty of red yarn. I could make them in red as well. Said they made it with that velvet yarn. Oh, my granddaughter's sitting here. You guys want to see my little granddaughter? There she is. That's Piper. She's a bit portly. Hey, Piper. Piper. You missed saying goodbye to him. He's left. He's gone to work. Oh, let's see. Ooh, everybody's chit-chatting right now. Hang on. I'm trying to catch up with you guys. Hang on. Greg chit-chatting at me got me behind. Oh, wow. That's quite the move, Dawn. Wow. Yep, I don't have grandchildren. I have grand kitties. I have Piper and Cole are the grand kitties, and the other three are Howard, which we call Howie, Callie, and Tippy. And Howard is actually in the dog's crate right now, and we tell him he's taking a dog nap instead of a cat nap. He's taking a dog nap because he's in the dog crate. So, yeah. We call her Portly, but she doesn't seem to like, oh, she's glaring at me. Hey, you gonna hang with Grandma today? What's the matter? She's acting like she says, oh, I might throw up. Oh, that sounds like fun. I wish our library did more of that kind of thing too. But still, helping them get packed up is a lot of help. I hope they have somebody at the other end that can help them unload. Oh, I love ragdoll cats. They are so sweet. They're so cute. You guys, I need my head examined. I'm thinking about keeping one of Juanita's kittens. I'm taking to calling him Phineas, and he's warmed up so much to me. I feel like he's chosen me, and I told somebody else that he needs a home, but now I'm thinking he has a home, but shh, don't tell Scott. Yeah. Well, when we moved back down here from the cottage, y'all remember when this is our house that we own. And then when Scott was working in the upstate, we'd stay at his sister's little cottage up there. And we thought we were going to move up there. We thought he'd stay with Abbott until he retired. Well, then they reorganized and moved some jobs and then just let a bunch of people go. And so we ended up back down here, which kind of worked out good, but because of his mom. But that moved back because we had moved a bunch of stuff. Just about half of the house had been moved up and was in storage up there because we thought we'll buy a house and then we could just move it. That way we could get things out of our way while we did a bunch of refresh and updating. Like we painted everything in here. All this, the walls were repainted. I've repainted the ceilings everywhere. Everything's been redone in that time period. But then we had to move all that stuff back down and into the house. So, and we've never gotten moved totally back into the rooms we normally would use. Like our master bedroom now holds my stash of yarn and fabric. It's just back there on one wall. It just goes from one corner to the other corner. Just storage, 25-gallon storage bins are back there, and bags and things like that. And we did that because we thought we would eventually get to redoing the floors in the bedroom and finish working the closet. That didn't happen. We've been for the last 5 years in the center bedroom, and it's just a long story, but good morning, Ann. We're eventually going to get it. We took a break from working on the bathroom this weekend, and we went to the floors and decor, and we got another towel bar because we're thinking of cutting it shorter and putting it toward the back of the shower so that there's a bar in there to put a washcloth to dry on in there. And so we took a break from that, and then we ended up thrifting, and then we ended up, we wanted to go to the farmer's market. So Saturday was just taken up with going to the farmer's market and going to all these different Goodwills. I think we went to 4 different Goodwills on Saturday. And yesterday was spent dealing with that produce. And then Scott he said, I'm going to the garage to just do a couple things. Well, he was out there for several hours. He's putting in a bunch of outlets on the side of the garage where he's going to have like his scroll saw, his band saw, his crosscut saws. What are those called? Radial arm saws. He has 2 of those. And so he's putting outlets in across. And then he was talking about adding a 220 line as a drop for one of the saws. And so he was out there running wire. And you guys, he slipped with the drill, and he has been storing the excess of saw blades on a nail on the wall. The nail's there, and then he just slides the saw blades over that. Well, he slipped with the drill when he was going through, and he caught one of those saw blades right there, just the edge of the saw blade. He's got quite the cut on his elbow. And when he came in, I said, "You're bleeding." He said, "Yeah, I know." And I said, "We need to clean that, because if you got cut on anything out in that garage, a garage or shop is a very dirty place." So we didn't bandage it last night because we just hit a wall. We both wanted to just go to sleep after our visit with Mother. Love her dearly. Love to visit her on Sundays. But as I said, the sundowning conversations are just exhausting. But I keep saying she can't help it. She can't help it. So this morning we got him bandaged up with some triple antibiotic. So let me show you this other thing. I'm not going to work on it this morning because I want to think on it a little bit more. But I have this little cat, okay? And it's actually a wind chime, because here's his feet. All right. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get these out. I'm going to get Scott to look at it, and I'll have to put new lines down in his feet. I can't tell if those are nails in the bottom or if it's like soldering stuff, like hot metal's been put in there to hold those in. I don't know how those are held in there. So, but then in between the body and the feet, you have 3 rings. And there's supposed to be wooden beads that are on a different strain, but my wooden beads rotted out in the sun. And I want to repaint all of this. And I have some yard and garden paint, but my cat's going to be some freaky artsy colors. So those go like that. This is his body that floats in here. but the bead comes down, oops, through this hole in the top, and the beads hang along a string, and they just bang against these, and that's what makes it a wind chime. But it used to be really bright orange. But you can see how the South Carolina sun has done him. And he's been hanging out in the yard since I worked at Joann Fabrics, because I got him at Joann's. Back when they carried aisles and aisles of non-crafty stuff. Oh, when I first worked there, when we get Christmas in, we'd get a Christmas village, and we'd get all of those standing angels and everything. And I was the shipping and receiving person. And yeah, now they don't carry very much of anything, seasonal. It's like 1 or 2 aisles is all. So anyway, I want to repaint that, and he's holding a little fish. I think he'll be cute. But he's not going to be an orange kitty anymore, because I'm going to use the paint that I have. That's another thing I want to talk about. I don't need to buy anything else. I need to focus on using what I have. And I was thinking, this is an idea I had. I was thinking of going back through my fabric stash and putting like color units together, like all the black and white fabrics together, all the blue, red, whatever, putting all the colors together instead of types of fabric, and then try to create a mini capsule wardrobe out of the units that I put together, to see if that would help me use my own fabric up quicker. Yeah, and yarn is another story, because you guys know me. I find yarn at the thrift stores all the time. I hardly ever, unless it's for someone specific that I need like 6 or more skeins of the exact same color. All of my yarn is thrifted. I thrift yarn like a mad woman. If I find it for like $2 or less, I get it. I just got more yarn just this Saturday. I think that's what's in here. And I showed you guys already, but I got some more cotton, which could go in my cotton bag that's right here. I keep a bag of cotton close so that I can make dishcloths, because in fact, I need to make dishcloths, because my basket that I put dishcloths in, that if somebody just pops over or comes over, I'll say, do you need more dishcloths? And I'll fork some dishcloths. I've mailed dishcloths to people. But these, I'm still thinking this would make an amazing hat with the chunky top, and then do the ribbing out of this smaller yarn. What do you think? I think that would be really cool looking. And they go so well together. And then this other one that's got the flex. That's definitely a hat in the making. Although I love the little sweater that's on there. And this is a Yarn Bee yarn. Let's look at the sweater pattern. Oh, it's really small. I might have to put it on my scanner and blow it up. See, like if I wanted to make this sweater, I would need 9 balls of this yarn. So I would have to figure out how much I can come up with in my own stash. This skein has 113 grams, 4 ounces. Well, 4 ounces times 9 times 4 is 36. So you'd need 36 ounces. Yeah, that's the only problem I have. I end up making all these wild things that are like multicolored, which is fine with me. But everybody looks at me like, oh, you've lost your mind. You look like, I don't know, a coat of many colors. Oh, Kim, I hear you on that. Using it at one hole punch at a time. And Heather did just $2 on some T-pins. Let me tell you what I saw. I almost bought, except it had holes in it. Those play mats that kids have that you can, they're like puzzle pieces and you can pop them together. And I almost got those, but they had the letters in them and I didn't want that. But that would be perfect for blocking like a baby quilt or a baby Afghan or something like that. And but at, where were we? Home Depot has the larger, I guess they're 24-inch squares, and you get 6 of them to the package, and they were $20. And I told Scott, I said, a Santa gift. So we'll see if I get those at Christmas. So I try to point things out. Yeah, I could start with the matching hat and then make the sweater later. A yo-yo bunting, was it fabric, Heather? I think I've showed the I can't remember the company now. Clover, all the yo-yo things. I've got one that makes a heart. I've got several that make different sized yo-yos. And then I've got one that makes butterflies. A butterfly bunting would be cute, but it would be really small. I love yo-yos too. And then I was going to mention that if anybody is interested in a challenge come October, I'm going to put a link to Lisa's channel in my description box. Oh, Lisa, I can't remember your channel name right now. Why can't I remember her channel name? But she's doing a challenge in October, and it can be for any work in progress that you have laying around that you want to complete in October. She's having a challenge, and she's lining up people to donate prizes or businesses. I think she said she's got Minerva involved, which is a fabric company. Let me look up Lisa's channel real quick. That's Instagram. We don't want Instagram. Let me look at YouTube. All the crime stuff pops up on my homepage. I put that on when I'm sewing because I can just listen to it and follow along. If I watch one of y'all, then I end up needing to sit and watch what you're doing. But I can put on a crime effort and just keep working, which I need to finish the little dresses I started there. You can see them there. Those are completely lined dresses that I need to sew up the backs and sides now and do the hem, and that's all they need. Lisa, where's your video? But she's doing that challenge in October. And I think it's going to be a fun challenge. I need to get back with her. I know Kim wants me to come on live with her on a Wednesday morning. I need to get back to her on that. Once the weekend comes, when it comes to internet stuff, I can't get back to anybody. So if you're waiting for a reply from me for anything over the weekend, you just have to wait till Monday when I have the house to myself and my brain can like focus on just one person. When the boys are here, it's just like, ah. Oh, and I do send some of my makes in to Dee and Dory Design Dreamers, and they shared some projects on there, and they shared my piggy in a blanket, which I've shared on here, but it's fun to share things through them as well because they get giggles and stuff over the piggy and that kind of thing. Oh, Lisa, where are you? Oh, you thrifters, do you all watch Crazy Lamp Lady? She finds some good stuff, but she's a reseller, so she buys things to, sell later. Hi, Piper. I hear the washing machine says it's done. Here she is. One Lisa show. She's going to be doing a challenge. And she had purchased a Minerva mystery bag, grab bag. And if you want to go over and watch that video, I'll put a link to that video and in my description box. But she had gotten a grab bag and she was asking for input on some fabric she got that she wasn't real sure what to do with. I told her to make a Christmas tree skirt out of it because it's snowflakes. No brainer, right? Resellers make you sad. Yeah, they kind of run the prices up on us. But I enjoy seeing what she finds. She's in Pennsylvania, and her Goodwills are a lot more cleaner than the ones down here and better organized. I'd love to shop at her Goodwills because they're so much cleaner, but I just dig through them. All right, Angie, hi and go back to sleep. It's awful early for Angie anyway. Let's see. Yeah, Heather's been making some stars. Who did we get the stars from now? It's escaping my brain. Who did those? I can't remember who did those. Why can't I remember? Yeah, you have to put whatever you can work with. If you're like, I need to focus on these dresses this week. Oh yeah, Curiosity Inc. We watched him. We watched him for a while. Scott still watches him. I loved it when he was helping the pottery lady and then she passed away and then he carried her in his Ghostbusters van or station wagon because that was a request she had before she passed away. I really hated it that the people that rented the house from him though kind of tore it up after they did all that work. That's why I would never rent. I would never rent. I would never be a landlord ever because that would upset me too bad. Any place Scott and I ever rented, we always left it in better condition than when we moved in because we'd make repairs. We added some bookshelves in our very first apartment in this little alcove place. Scott says, we put some shelves in there and I can put my stereo on it. So that's what we did. So yeah, that's true. It's true. It was a very special house, and for them to go in and trash it like that was just awful. Let's see. The latest channel, I'll never remember all these channels. I never will. I better write them down. I definitely want to put Lisa's last video up because I think that's going to be a lot of fun and a lot of people can get some works in progress completed. And you could also join in on the fun of her challenge and maybe win a prize. Hey, it's fun to win prizes, isn't it? One Lisa Show, Lamp Lady, Curiosity Inc. Who else should I list? Who else did I mention? Marion's World. And Marion finished her coat. Did you see? Did you watch yesterday's video? Marion's World. She's like K3N Cloth Tales, but Marion does stitching as well, but her techniques are, they're about the same, but she puts her own spin on it, which is fun. The thing about going in and being a good renter and improving it, then that landlord can probably turn around and rent it for more to the next people. Yes, Tippy. I'm here to serve. Oh. That coat is stunning. And to think she sewed the entire thing by hand, even the seams, everything. And she did French seams. And I just am blown away by her ability to hand sew a garment. My fingers would hurt so bad after trying that. Oh, goodness. Now Piper's cussing Tippy out. I can hear her in the kitchen. Let's see. What else do we want to talk about on this Monday morning? Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. I come on right after Ann, and we'll do some more work on our little journal covers. I'm going to try to have my pages put together, or at least, decide how many papers I want in each one by then. So we'll see how far we get on Wednesday. It'll be okay if it carries over into another week. And I really wanted to make just a little book that maybe I could take autumnal, write down things that like we do. Like I saw that, I think it's Trenton, South Carolina. They're having a big fall event, fall festival, where you can go and they have like this cornfield maze. Like it's like their whole cornfield and they've put a maze into it. So I think that would be fun to maybe go to. It depends. But we'll work on that on Wednesday at 1:30. We started it last week. My covers are completely dry now, so I could like paint and do stuff on the covers, which we'll do that on Wednesday. We'll paint the outside part and then we'll let that dry and do something else. And then maybe we'll cover the inside cover with underpants. So have some book pages ready and be prepared to paint on the outside, book pages for the inside. And let's see here. I think that's the channels I mentioned. Oh, Dee and Dory. I'll put Dee and Dory's video up too. And if everybody that's doing the bears, if you want to share progress videos, not videos, but pictures in my group, that'd be great. I'd love to see how you're doing. I did do some on my bear, work on it. It's my when I need to take a break from the dresses, I pull this out and work on it. And I've been working on the center of the head. And I've begun to put things together to put on the body, but I don't have anything real work done. But this is the center of the head. And this is as far as I've gotten on it. So that'll be right between his eyes. So I'm done with the stitching on that one. And I thought about doing trapunto here by just cutting a little slits just in my backing fabric and then adding a little fiber fill in there and then whip stitch my openings closed and maybe do a little bit down there too. But I changed my mind because that's fiddly and I'm already doing all this hand stitching. Okay, I am not done. I want to put a bead in the middle of each of the yellow flowers. So that's something I need to do. I'll just get my seed beads out and put maybe little red centers in them, or orange. Maybe orange would be better. I'll have to see what I have in seed beads. I love the French knot section because it's dimensional and it's very tactile. And I also got out, this is leftover muslin that I had used to line the yellow dresses. And while I was on Craft and Chat the other day, I wrote some sayings that I can stitch to the bear, but I need to go over them. And I think I'm going to go use a navy thread, and I'm just going to stitch over my writing that I did in pencil. And that one says, "We love because it's the only true adventure." And this one says, "Sometimes a hug is all you need." And I thought I'd attach these here and there on the bear. So there's little messages hidden on the bear. A hug is always the right size. So I do have some tiny stitching to do. We accept the love we think we deserve. I struggle with that. Love is friendship set on fire. And then the last little one says, "A hug is the bridge between two souls," which I thought those were really cute little quotes. I just did a search for, of all things, I think I put in bear quotes, and those were some that came up. And some of them are from Winnie the Pooh. I think Anne said that. And Anne started stitching on her piece. So that's my in progress right now. So anyway. Yeah, and I think the bear is something I'm going to keep to like sit on my spare bedroom if I ever have a spare bedroom. I also have a little cradle up in the attic that I thought about, not attic, but our upstairs that you can't stand up there. It's just got stuff up there. It's storage. But I thought about getting it down and just using it as a place to display and hold all of my handmade menagerie, because I've got Jeff the rabbit, and I've got Paisley Pig, and I got the little cat, and I've just begun making all these little creatures. And I would right now here, Jeff, Paisley, and the cat, are up there. And Jeff is that big rabbit up there, but that light's going to blind you. And there's our old shed that we built originally that we need to, we're going to rework the outside so it looks like the new shed that we built. So we have 2 sheds in the backyard. And that's a stack of dresses right there. Yeah, I could put a blanket in there. So anyway, and I'm thinking of making a girl rabbit with a dress. I don't know. That rabbit was fun because I made it out of a garage sale bought suit jacket. And then I used a pair of Scott's old wore out jeans, which they were a dream to work with. And then I used some fabric from my stash, and I reused the labels from the jeans to put on the front of the bib. He was just a lot of fun to make. He really was. And I do love to make the toys. I just don't have any kids to give them to. Oh my goodness. Piper, quit cursing. Tippy's just walking through. All right. Well, it's almost 7:30. I've probably yacked long enough. I'm going to put some crime drama on, or maybe watch some people and see if I can get this to the think it's 21 inches. I'm at like 17 and a quarter now. So I need 1, 2, 3, about 3 3/4 inches more of these. And this will be a headband. Actually, go like that. And then it'll have the, where you wrap the rope, the string around. I really kind of like the idea of knitting like just 5 stitches and making a loop to put on it, but I'll make it according to the pattern and go from there. So after me, Dee Dee will be on, I think she starts 8:30, and then Janet Nash comes on at 9. So I'll put a link to Dee Dee's channel for anybody that doesn't know who Dee Dee is. And then I'll put on a link to Janet Nash. So I guess first thing I'll be doing is putting in links. And then I don't know who comes on after that on Mondays, because I'm usually, Monday is my housework day where I have to do all of the housework, because Tuesday's our trash pickup. So I figured that's the best day to do it. So if I'm throwing food out, it doesn't sit in the trash can and stink for a week. So yeah. Heather says she'll be at Janet's later. Yeah, I have a doctor's appointment on Thursday, so I'll have to leave. I'll have to get to Craft and Chat late on Thursday. All right, Donna, it's wonderful to see you again. I'm glad you were able to help your friends, but wow, what an undertaking. All right, bye, guys.